Okay, we really need to talk about the future of your home. And I'm not just talking about smarter lights or a fridge that orders milk for you. No, I mean a fundamental, ground up redesign for a totally new kind of roommate. One that's, not human at all. We're talking about silicon based, intelligent life forms. But first, let's be real. Have you ever gotten really, really frustrated with your so called smart home? I mean, why does your robotic vacuum get stuck on the exact same corner of the rug every single day? Why do all these smart devices feel less like this seamless, futuristic system and more like a bunch of clumsy, disconnected gadgets that just don't talk to each other? Well, here's the thing. The problem isn't actually the technology. It's the environment it's in. Our homes, right down to the studs, were designed exclusively for carbon-based users. Yeah, that's us. And now, these new silicon-based agents, our robots, are being forced to awkwardly adapt to a world that was just never, ever built for them. So to even begin to fix this, we have to get our heads around the real problem. We live in a completely human-centric world. I mean, everything is built for us. And our homes, they are the ultimate expression of that design philosophy. Just think about it for a second. Doorknobs? They're designed for human hands to grip and turn. Kitchen counters are all set at a comfortable height for a standing human. Light switches, alarms, all those little cues, they're made for human eyes and ears. Literally every single element of your home makes these deep, fundamental assumptions about the body and the senses of the person using it. Right. So if our homes are going to be truly shared spaces in the future, we need a totally new way of thinking, a radical new approach. We've got to move away from this purely human-centric design and start embracing a philosophy that's actually fit for the future that's coming. And that new approach, it's called silicon-carbon coexistence design. Now, the goal here sounds simple, but it's actually pretty profound: to create spaces where both humans and machines can operate, not just kinda okay, but effortlessly. It's all about shared efficiency and, shared living. So how in the world do we actually do this? Well, the very first step is to completely rethink the foundation of our homes. We have to realize that they need to be both physical and digital spaces, all at the same time. And you know what? We actually have a perfect model for this already. It's the internet. You see, the internet isn't just one thing. It's really two. So you've got the carbon internet. That's the one for us, right? It's full of beautiful graphics, videos, slick interfaces. But then there's the silicon internet, which is built for machines. It's all about raw data, communication protocols, and APIs, which are kind of like these digital doorways for programs to talk to each other. A machine doesn't need a pretty button to click. It needs a clean, efficient stream of data. And this leads to a pretty obvious question, doesn't it? If the most complex information space we've ever built has two distinct layers, one for us and one for machines, why on earth don't our physical spaces have that too? A dual-layer home would look something like this. You've got the carbon layer, which is everything we see and feel. The comfort, the design, the art on the walls, that human stuff. And then, underneath it all, you have the silicon layer. It's this invisible infrastructure that's built for machines. Navigation markers, rock-solid communication networks, protocols for all the devices to coordinate. And the real magic, the goal, is making those two layers merge so perfectly you don't even know they're separate. Now, for that silicon layer to work, every physical object, I'm talking from your coffee mug to your sofa, has to have its own digital identity. They can't just be passive, dumb items anymore. They have to become active, addressable nodes within the home's network. And once every object has this digital identity, well, that changes everything. It completely redefines how we, and our new robot residents, will interact with the world around us. The old way is all mechanical. We press buttons, we pull handles, we plug things in. These are all actions designed for human bodies. The new way, it's systemic. So instead of a physical action, a device just sends a signal. It verifies its identity with a network, and it gets a response. It's basically the difference between opening a door with a metal key versus having it just unlock via Bluetooth as you walk up to it. The evolution of Tesla's charging technology is the absolute perfect example of this. At first, it was a manual plug, a totally mechanical action. Then it became that cool robotic arm that could plug itself in. But what's the end goal? True wireless charging. See? The clumsy physical step gets completely removed in favor of this seamless systemic coordination. And this whole philosophy, it extends to everything. We can't just drop robots into our current homes and expect it to work. The furniture itself has to evolve. Cabinets will need to be at heights a robot can actually reach, with surfaces its grippers can handle. A kitchen might have these modular units that a robot can reconfigure on the fly for different tasks. So all of this leads to the final, and I think the most important shift in our thinking. It's about changing our fundamental relationship with the machines we live with, because they're not just appliances. Right now, we see a robot as a tool. We take it out of the closet, we use it, we put it back. But in a truly integrated home, the robot is a permanent resident. It lives there. It has its own needs, its own routines, just like we do. And once you start thinking of a robot as a resident, your design priorities change completely. All of a sudden, you need to plan for their charging paths, you have to make sure there are no Wi-Fi dead zones, and you even have to create designated areas for them to work and to rest or recharge. Your home stops being just a collection of devices and becomes a true living ecosystem. You know, there's this ancient philosophical idea that says all things have a spirit. It's this really beautiful way of seeing the world as this interconnected living whole. Well, in the technological age we're now building, that ancient wisdom gets a stunningly modern translation. The spirit of a thing is its data. Its soul is its API. In other words, all things have an interface. Every single object can connect, it can communicate, and it can become part of a much larger intelligent system. And that really brings us to the final thought here. This future, it isn't a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And it's going to require us to completely rethink the most personal space that we have. So the question isn't just for architects or tech designers, it's for every single one of us. Is your home ready?